This episode is brought to you by SimplyExpat. That's SimplyExpat, one word.
SimplyExpat.
Ready for a trip that goes beyond like those stunning beaches? You know, the ones you see all over Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
This deep dive is all about the Philippines.
Okay.
But we're skipping the tourist traps yet.
All right, I'm with you.
We're going deeper. We're going to uncover the beating heart of this nation.
Which is?
It's their local businesses.
Interesting.
So what's really fascinating about the Philippines is how deeply intertwined these businesses are with, like, everyday life.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about transactions, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking about community hubs, family legacies, and in the very, very essence of Filipino culture.
And that comes through in a lot of different ways. What's so interesting about the Philippines is,
Go on.
and it's how these businesses are really ingrained in the day-to-day. It's not just like you go to a shop, you buy something, and you leave. It's a whole experience.
It's like that corner store that you kind of wished you had growing up.
Yeah.
Except times 1,000. And we're not just talking your mom and pop shops either, right?
Right.
Our sources revealed a whole ecosystem of entrepreneurship.
Oh, wow.
From like coffee connoisseurs all the way to sustainability champions.
Interesting.
Speaking of like corner stores, let's start with kind of a Filipino icon.
Okay.
The sari-sari store.
Yeah.
So I was just pictured, like a cute little shop.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Way more.
Okay.
So imagine this.
Okay.
You're strolling down any street in the Philippines, right?
Right.
You're almost guaranteed to run into a sari-sari store. Like, they're everywhere. They're like these little lifelines woven into the fabric of the community.
Our sources called them the heartbeat of local communities. And I have to admit, at first I thought that was a bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But then I really dug into the details.
Yeah.
And you realize it's not hyperbole.
Not at all. Think of it as like the original social network.
Okay.
Say you need a couple of eggs.
Right.
Maybe some shampoo.
Yeah.
Pop into the sari-sari. You want the local gossip. Maybe you want to, like, borrow a cup of sugar from a neighbor.
Yeah.
Sari is the spot.
That's so cool. And here's where it gets really, really interesting.
Okay.
They often operate on this pateng system.
Oh, yes. Pateng.
So those of us who aren't familiar, break it down.
So pateng is essentially microcredit.
Okay.
It's ingrained in how these businesses work, and it's all based on trust. You can buy goods now and then pay later.
Wow.
You can't get more community-focused than that.
That's amazing. It reminds me of this one store owner from when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah?
Mr. Henderson. He knew everyone by name, always had a joke ready. Sometimes he even let us borrow a candy bar if we were short a few cents. It wasn't just a store, It was where everyone felt seen, everyone felt cared for.
Right.
And that's kind of the vibe I get from these sari-sari stores.
It is. It's about understanding what your community needs and then meeting those needs. And the decline of these local businesses, it impacts more than just the economy.
Oh, for sure.
It can lead to a loss of that social glue that holds neighborhoods together.
Yeah.
But shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
Our deep dive wouldn't be complete without talking about the Filipino coffee scene.
Right. Forget your mega chains.
Totally.
The Philippines is brewing up something really, really special.
Yeah.
What's got you buzzing about their coffee culture?
What's exciting is this new wave of locally owned cafes that are popping up.
Oh, cool.
And they're celebrating Filipino beans, Filipino brewing methods.
Wow.
It's really cool. We're talking about places like Kapitidlo in Cebu.
Okay.
Or the trendy cafes along Maginhawa Street in Quezon City.
Nice.
Each with its own unique character.
And it's not just about like trendy latte art or anything, right?
No, not at all.
It's about reclaiming their coffee narrative.
Exactly. The Philippines has this rich coffee heritage, and it's getting rediscovered. And it's so fascinating to see this shift from instant coffee to these meticulously crafted brews.
I love that.
And they even have their own specialty beans.
Yeah.
Like Barako coffee from Batangas.
Okay, Barako.
Yeah.
I have to admit, that was a new one for me when I was prepping for this episode.
Oh, interesting.
What's so special about this bean?
Well, Barako literally means strong and masculine.
Okay.
So that should give you a hint about the flavor.
Okay. I'm intrigued now.
Oh.
Strong and masculine.
It's traditionally grown in the volcanic soil of Batangas.
Oh, wow.
And you can really taste the terroir. Just imagine an intense, almost smoky aroma with this full-bodied flavor that really packs a punch.
Right.
It's not your average cup of joe.
Wow. I'm picturing myself needing a power nap after a cup of that.
Yeah, it's strong.
I love that it's all about showcasing the distinct flavors of Filipino coffee, inviting the world to experience their unique brews. So it's more than just a caffeine fix at that point.
Way more.
It's an experience.
It is. These cafes are becoming community hubs. They foster a sense of connection, conversation.
I love that.
Speaking of immersive experiences, let's talk about a place that explodes with sensory overload. The palengkes.
Ah, the palengkes.
Yeah.
Now, our sources were clear. We don't want to romanticize them.
Right.
These markets are, they're a lot of work for the vendors.
Yeah.
But from a cultural perspective,
yes,
they are fascinating.
Absolutely.
It's not your typical sterile grocery store experience at all.
Not at all. Imagine a symphony of sights, sounds, and smells.
Okay.
Vendors calling out their wares, vibrant displays of fresh produce, the scent of spices hanging in the air.
Yeah.
It's a sensory adventure.
Our sources even called it an assault on the senses.
Right.
But in the best way possible, of course.
Of course. It's part of the charm. You're not just, buying groceries, you're engaging all your senses. You're touching the produce, you're smelling the herbs, you're haggling for the best price.
Oh, yes, the haggling.
Oh, yeah.
That's an art form in itself, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. You need to strike that balance between getting a good deal and also being respectful to the vendor.
Right.
It really highlights that importance of interpersonal relationships in Filipino culture. It's a dance, it's a conversation.
I love that.
It's a connection built into the transaction itself.
And speaking of connections, we can't forget the food.
Oh, yes. The food.
What culinary delights await in these palenques?
Oh, where to even begin? You'll find everything from the freshest seafood, exotic fruits, to those more traditional delicacies, like longanisa, a savory sausage. And of course, you can't forget the durian.
Ah, durian.
Yes.
The king of fruits.
The king.
Or should I say the pungent king?
Well, that too.
That too, yeah.
It's definitely an experience. You either love it or you
have a strong reaction.
You have a strong reaction to it. But that's the beauty of a palenque. It throws you headfirst into the heart of Filipino cuisine. And for those looking for a quick bite, the ready-to-eat dishes are where it's at. Steaming bowls of noodles, skewers of grilled meat. It's a haven for those who love street food. And that, my friend, is where we're headed next.
Okay, my stomach is officially rumbling after that last segment.
Mine too.
Filipino street food, here we come. It's more than just a quick bite, though, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's woven into the cultural fabric. It's really fascinating.
Our sources actually called these street food vendors the unsung heroes of Filipino cuisine. Yeah. And for good reason, right?
Absolutely, because these entrepreneurs, they're out there every single day feeding their communities.
With so much passion and flavor, too.
Yes. It's
often on a shoestring budget, right?
Yeah, often.
We're talking small, family-run operations, recipes that have been passed down like through generations. It's like this microcosm of Filipino resilience and resourcefulness.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's amazing how they can take these really simple, accessible ingredients and create these really delicious and uniquely Filipino dishes.
All right, enough teasing. Let's get specific. What are some must-try dishes that should be on everyone's radar?
Okay, you can't talk about Filipino street food without mentioning taho.
Taho.
It's practically a national treasure.
Wow.
So picture this. Warm silken tofu, drizzled with this sweet syrup called arnibol, and sprinkled with these little tiny tapioca pearls known as sago.
Okay, I'm not usually a big tofu person, but you're making this taho sound pretty tempting.
Oh, it's so good. Creamy, sweet, chewy. People eat it for breakfast or a midday snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way it's sold is just as iconic.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You'll hear these vendors walking down the street. They carry these big aluminum containers, and they're calling out, "Tahu!"
See, that's what I love. It's like a taste of tradition.
Yeah.
Delivered right to your doorstep.
Exact.
Convenience and culture all in one.
Yes. And speaking of irresistible treats, we have to talk about Quick Quick.
Quick Quick. Okay, the name alone is enough to pique my interest.
Yeah.
What are we dealing with here?
Picture this. Bite-sized quail eggs, deep-fried until they're perfectly crispy, and then they're coated in this bright orange batter.
Okay, that bright orange is throwing me off a little bit.
Don't let the color fool you. It's all part of the experience. They're usually served with a dipping sauce. It adds a whole other layer of flavor. And then we have a classic banana cue.
Banana cue. Okay, that sounds a little bit more familiar.
Yeah, I bet you've seen it around.
Tell me everything.
It's simple. but so delicious.
Yeah.
Ripe Saba bananas, skewered, deep-fried to this beautiful golden brown. And then they're coated in caramelized brown sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had me at caramelized brown sugar.
Yeah.
That sounds like the perfect blend of sweet and savory.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Super affordable, too. It's a popular snack for everyone.
You know, it strikes me that street food is about way more than just like filling your belly.
So much more.
It's a glimpse into the soul of a culture.
Yeah.
The ingenuity of its people.
You said it. These vendors are artists.
Totally.
They're creating these flavors and these experiences that are just so uniquely Filipino.
It's about embracing those everyday moments, right? Like sharing a plate of quick with locals at a bustling market.
Exactly.
It's those kinds of authentic connections that make a trip memorable.
Totally.
But besides the amazing food and entrepreneurial spirit, something else really struck us about the Philippines.
What's that?
Their commitment to sustainability.
Yes. And this isn't just a trend for them, though.
Right.
This is ingrained in their culture. It's been there.
It's like this beautiful blend of tradition and innovation.
Totally.
So tell me, how are Filipino businesses incorporating sustainability into what they do?
Well, we're seeing this huge surge in eco-conscious practices.
Oh, cool.
Across the board, restaurants are shifting to biodegradable packaging.
Okay.
They're sourcing locally.
Nice.
Embracing that farm-to-table ethos.
I love that.
And then you have these zero-waste stores.
Oh, wow.
Popping up in major cities, offering refills, encouraging people to rethink how they consume.
It's so inspiring to see these sustainable practices really taking root, even at the smallest business level. What are some specific examples that stuck out to you?
Well, there's this really cool company called the Bamboo Company, and they make more than just those reusable bamboo straws.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're making furniture, bikes, even houses, all from sustainably harvested bamboo.
Now, that's what I call taking sustainability to the next level. It's about creating this closed-loop system, supporting local farmers, local craftspeople, all while minimizing your environmental impact. That's incredible.
And it's not just individual businesses. We're seeing this wave of community-based initiatives, too, like local markets that are implementing composting programs to reduce food waste.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's about working together, recognizing that we all have a role to play in protecting our planet.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that our choices, they have this ripple effect.
For sure.
And by supporting these sustainable businesses, we're not just getting a product or a service, right?
Right.
We're investing in a better future.
Exactly. It's not a burden to be sustainable.
Right.
It's an opportunity to innovate, to create, and to build a more resilient future for everyone.
It's truly inspiring to see how the Philippines is weaving sustainability into its entrepreneurial fabric. It's a nice reminder that we can all make a difference. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we have one final stop on our Filipino business adventure.
Okay, I'm ready.
Don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back for the final leg of our deep dive into the heart and soul of Filipino businesses.
They're really something special.
It really is amazing to see how these businesses are so much more than just places to buy and sell. They're part of the fabric of Filipino culture.
Absolutely.
So we've explored the what of it all, right?
Yeah.
The sari-sari stores, the coffee scene, the palengkes, the inspiring sustainability initiatives.
It's a lot to cover.
As we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to think about the why.
Okay.
Why should we, as global citizens, why should we care about supporting local businesses?
That's a good question.
And not just in the Philippines, but right here at home, too, wherever home is for you.
It's about understanding that what we do matters.
Okay.
That our choices have a ripple effect.
Okay.
When we choose to support local businesses, we're investing in our own communities.
Yeah.
We help create this sense of belonging and preserve those unique qualities that make each place special.
Yeah. It's about keeping those traditions alive, right?
Exactly.
Those mom and pop shops, those family-run restaurants.
We give a neighborhood its soul.
I love that.
It's about recognizing that behind every business, there are people with stories, families, and dreams. And when we choose local, we become part of that story.
It's like that saying, think globally, act locally.
Right.
We can be inspired by what's happening in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And we can look for ways to support those local heroes right here in our own communities.
Absolutely. Whether you're grabbing a coffee, getting groceries, or just looking for a unique gift, take a moment to explore the local businesses around you.
You might be surprised by what you find.
You really might.
So as we wrap up our Filipino business adventure,
it's been fun.
I hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity in all of our listeners. A desire to explore not just new places, but to really experience the heart and soul of those places through their local businesses.
It's the best way to travel.
And remember, every purchase is a vote.
Ooh, I like that.
A vote for the kind of world we want to live in, so choose wisely.
Choose consciously.
Choose local.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey to the Philippines, where adventure awaits.
Often right around the corner, everybody.